The endless salt flats of Kharos. Here, the ground is covered by a thin and slippery crust, hiding shallow pools of mineral-rich brine beneath the surface. Survival depends on balance, patience, and constant movement. Few large animals can travel across it safely, but the salt striders were built for this unforgiving world. Each careful step carries the herd towards scattered feeding grounds, where even the smallest source of life can mean survival. Salt striders rarely travel alone. They move in small social groups, following the movements of a single dominant female, the queen. Larger and more imposing than the males around her, she controls the direction of the herd and decides which individuals may remain close. Her elaborate tail remains folded flat against her body, but when challenged, it unfolds into a brilliant display of color, a warning that can be understood without a single physical strike. Among the males, competition for the queen can turn tense without warning. They shove, strike, and test each other's balance until the weaker rival finally retreats. And throughout it all, the queen watches in silence, choosing not merely the strongest, but the male capable of surviving this dangerous land. Across the frozen reaches of northern Kharos, few predators are built to endure the cold as completely as this one. This is the crystal bear of Kharos, one of the most formidable predators of the northern polar desert. Its thick, insulated skin protects it from the extreme cold. While its wide, clawed feet provide stability across fractured and slippery ice. Prey is scattered across enormous distances, forcing the crystal bear to spend much of its life moving between frozen coastlines, nesting grounds, and cracks in the ice. He discovers an exposed nest and quickly devours the eggs. It knows the small meal will not satisfy its hunger, but it provides enough energy to continue the search. On land, it appears slow and vulnerable, but in the water, it becomes a swift and highly efficient hunter. The Glidebeast of Kharos, a powerful swimmer with a long neck, a compact armored head, and a folding sail that helps stabilize its movement through the water. It spends much of its time pursuing small schooling fish beneath the ice, surfacing only to rest or breathe. Yet every chase sends vibrations through the ice, revealing its position to the crystal bear above. The sailfin senses the danger too late. With the crystal bear closing in behind, it races through the frozen channels, twisting between the ice walls in a desperate attempt to escape. The crystal bear can hold its breath for only a minute, giving it little time to catch its prey beneath the ice. Driven by its powerful limbs and long tail, it closes the distance on the heavy Glidebeast as the frightened animal turns toward the surface. Before it can escape, the bear strikes with a single, violent bite, driving its oversized fangs deep into the prey and bringing the chase to an end. Millions of years ago, this region was a large inland lake, surrounded by distant highlands. Salt flats are the memory of an ancient lake, written in layers of salt and stone. What appears to be a barren waste is, in truth, the patient record of countless cycles, flood and drought, plenty and loss, etched across millions of years. Seasonal rains replenish its deep, clear waters. Rivers, runoff, and sediments carry dissolved minerals, salts, and fine particles into the basin, slowly enriching the lake water. Strong heat and persistent winds repeatedly evaporate the water. Minerals remain behind, becoming more concentrated with each cycle. The lake shrinks over time. Shorelines retreat, leaving mineral terraces, shallow brine pools, and thick deposits of salt and minerals. Now, the lake disappears. A broad, flat landscape remains, covered by a thin, slippery salt crust, hiding shallow pools of mineral-rich brine beneath. Life thrives at a much smaller scale. Brine skimmers move in restless groups across the wet crust, feeding on microbial films and mineral-rich growth around the shallow pools. A fallen creature rarely goes unnoticed on the salt flats. Crustaceans begin emerging from the surrounding pools, drawn toward the scent of decay. One by one, they gather around the carcass, using their small feeding limbs to tear away pieces of soft tissue. What begins as a handful quickly becomes a dense, restless swarm. They continue feeding for hours, stripping flesh from the limbs, opening the body, and reaching deep between the bones. Individually, they are fragile and easy prey. Together, their numbers and speed make them difficult to eliminate. And across the salt flats of Kharos, that simple strategy has allowed them to thrive. What was that? Has the brine skimmer found a hidden refuge beneath the salt? The crush maw is one of the strangest and most unsettling creatures on Kharos. Mineral-encrusted body, almost indistinguishable from the surrounding salt formations. It can remain motionless for weeks, using hidden sensory pits to detect vibrations and chemical traces from anything that comes too close. Then, without warning, its massive crushing slab drops vertically onto the prey. Once immobilized, hundreds of tentacles pull the victim beneath the creature toward a circular maw hidden underneath. There, digestion can continue for hours, while the crush maw once again becomes little more than another silent mound of salt. From the frozen reaches of the north to the endless salt flats, every creature on Kharos survives in a different way, through strength, speed, patience, or sheer numbers. Yet together, they reveal the same truth. On this unforgiving world, life does not simply endure the environment, it becomes shaped by it. Countless creatures still remain undiscovered. Subscribe and continue exploring the strange worlds of cosmic iconic wildlife.